From idea to launch, the art of product creation. Hi, I'm the avatar of Nathan Ives, President and CEO of Strategy Driven Enterprises, a company dedicated to providing entrepreneurs and organization leaders the tools and insights they need to achieve resounding success. Every product begins as a flicker of possibility, a half-formed thought scribbled in a notebook, a frustration with the way things are, a question that refuses to go away. Between that first spark and a triumphant launch lies a long, winding journey filled with choices: what to build, who it's for, how it should feel, and when it is finally ready. This journey is rarely linear and never purely logical. It is part strategy, part experiment, and part leap of faith. From idea to launch, the art of product creation explores this journey in full. It looks beyond checklists and roadmaps to uncover how ideas are shaped, challenged, refined, and ultimately brought into the world. Along the way, it examines how creativity and structure coexist, how teams turn assumptions into evidence, and how products evolve from rough concepts into tangible experiences people are willing to adopt and pay for. This is not a tale of overnight success or flawless execution. It is an examination of the craft, the messy decisions, the invisible iterations, and the quiet discipline that transforms a single idea into something real. Let's begin by turning vague ideas into clear value propositions. Raw inspiration usually shows up as a blurry hunch. There should be an easier way to do X. To turn that hunch into something people will actually pay for, zoom in on the lived experience of your potential users. Identify who is struggling, when the struggle appears, and why current options feel frustrating, expensive, or confusing. Instead of asking, "Do you like this idea?" explore questions such as, "What do you do today to solve this? What annoys you the most about it?" Capture the exact phrases your audience uses. These become the raw material for a compelling value story, not just a list of features. As the fog clears, your task becomes less about inventing pain and more about revealing it with precision. Once the problem is sharply defined, translate it into a value proposition that reads like a promise, not a pitch. Strip away jargon and anchor your product around specific outcomes your audience actually cares about. A simple framing can help. For who, struggling with what, our product does what so they can achieve what. To refine this, sketch options and test them with real people. Emphasize outcomes. Talk about time saved, errors avoided, or clarity gained. Contrast with the status quo. Show how life looks before versus after. Keep it concrete. Avoid words like innovative, scalable, or disruptive unless you can demonstrate how. Next, we'll design with intention, translating customer insight into product features that matter. Every promising idea hides a set of needs, fears, and motivations waiting to be translated into tangible value. Instead of rushing from concept to wireframe, pause to map what customers actually experience before, during, and after they encounter your product. Use interviews, support tickets, and analytics not as a scoreboard, but as a language decoder. What are people really trying to accomplish, and what stands in their way? From that clarity, you can sketch a feature narrative where each capability has a specific job. In practice, this means turning raw insights into design principles such as reduce uncertainty at every step, make progress visible in under 10 seconds. These principles should quietly govern every button, label, and interaction pattern. To keep intention visible, translate your research into simple artifacts your entire team can use. Instead of bloated requirement documents, create lightweight structures that connect what people feel to what you plan to build. Jobs to be done cards describing context, struggle, and desired outcome. Experience guardrails, e.g., never ask for data we don't immediately use. Feature non-goals to protect against well-meaning but distracting ideas. Language maps that replace internal jargon with customers' own words. Next up, prototyping, testing, and iterating before you scale. Before pouring resources into development and marketing, treat your concept like a sketch, not a monument. Start with a scrappy, story-rich prototype, wireframes, clickable mockups, or even a simple storyboard that captures the journey from a user's first click to their aha moment. Use this early version to invite honest feedback, then listen obsessively to where people hesitate, get confused, or feel unexpectedly delighted. You're not testing whether people like your idea in theory. You're testing how they behave when faced with a tangible version of it. In this phase, progress is measured less in lines of code and more in clarity gained. Each iteration should answer a few sharp questions. What problem did users actually try to solve? Where did they slow down, hesitate, or drop off? What surprised them, positively or negatively? What did they try to do that you didn't expect? As insights accumulate, your product should feel less like a guess and more like a response to a clearly heard need. Keep iterations light and cheap. Adjust copy before architecture. Rearrange flows before rebuilding features. And prune anything that doesn't move users closer to success. Scaling only makes sense once a small group of real people are returning voluntarily, solving their problems predictably, and telling you, through their actions, that your solution is worth their time. At that point, you're not just making something better, you're amplifying something that already works in miniature. Now, orchestrate a confident launch with positioning, pricing, and go-to-market tactics that stick. Before unveiling anything to the world, transform vague value into a clear market promise. Start by mapping who your earliest believers are and what they are quietly hiring your product to do. Anchor your narrative around outcomes, not features. Craft a shared language your entire team uses consistently. A one-line pitch, 3 core benefits, a small set of use cases that define when your product is the obvious choice. From there, treat pricing as a story about how serious the problem is. Test simple tiers that mirror how customers grow, and don't shy away from a starter offer that reduces friction while protecting perceived value. With story and pricing aligned, design a launch that feels like a series of deliberate invitations. Choose 2 or 3 channels where your audience already pays attention, and choreograph touchpoints that build curiosity, clarity, and commitment. Teasers, visual glimpses that plant the problem. Proof, beta testimonials, mini case studies, or live demos. Conversion moments, webinars, limited cohorts, or partner promos with clear deadlines. Follow-through, onboarding emails, in-app guidance, and feedback loops. When these elements align, who it's for, why it matters now, how it's priced, and where it's introduced, the launch doesn't feel like a gamble. It feels like the next step your audience has been waiting to take. Here are some of my final thoughts. Every product is a story. It begins as a faint outline, an irritation, a curiosity, an unanswered why. It gathers shape through research and friction, gains color through prototypes and feedback, and only truly comes alive when it meets the people it was meant to serve. The path from idea to launch is less a straight line and more a series of careful, uncertain brushstrokes. What distinguishes those who bring ideas to market is not a secret formula, but a practiced balance, listening and leading, experimenting and committing, measuring and imagining. The art of product creation is not perfection at launch, but the discipline of continuous refinement. A launch is not the final chapter. It is the moment your work leaves the studio and enters the gallery of everyday life, where it is tested, challenged, and if done well, quietly woven into someone's routine. The canvas is blank again tomorrow. What you choose to place on it, and how bravely you iterate once it's visible, will define not just the products you build, but the impact they're allowed to have. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this content, give us a like and subscribe. And if you want to learn more about product development and launches, visit us at www.ecommerceedgedigest.com. Until next time, so long.